All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us at another installment of MU Africa Interdisciplinary Studies Hub events. Tonight, we are excited to jump into the COVID virtual world of gathering together without being in the same room. So we're excited to see how this works out. We are live in a few different places. So for some reason you lose your connection, message us or come right back in as well. All right, so just to do a quick introduction, the MU African Interdisciplinary Studies Hub is part of the University of Missouri in Columbia, Missouri. And it works to promote the interdisciplinary collaborative research and teaching here on our campus, which contributes to a better understanding of Africa. If you don't know, the University of Missouri is part of a system that includes campuses in Columbia, St. Louis, as well as Kansas City and Raleigh. So tonight's program is a goal for us to utilize cinema as a powerful platform because we believe it really supports the Africa Hub's goal of promoting this understanding of a vast continent that many are not familiar with. So we think that cinema can afford us a space to debate political and cultural issues in our community. Each year, the films that we choose to screen give the Mizzou community and of course at large those who participate an opportunity to see the lives of others come to life. And we hope that this is a way that will teach and induce empathy and make us all well-rounded citizens. So it's really wonderful to look at storytelling as it provides us an avenue to understand and work along each other. I would be remiss without taking the opportunity to thank our generous sponsors for making this program possible. I'd like to start with the Division of Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity on our campus, which promotes diversity programs. And it's a really wonderful opportunity to allow us to share these great films. We would like to thank the partnership we have with the African Graduate Professional Student Association. We've been able to create a really wonderful community of graduate and professional students on our campus and give them an avenue to collaborate and work along with us. Lastly, we do want to thank CAFNER International Program. This is our home and our hub. Finally, as I mentioned, if you are just now joining us, we are going to be live on a few platforms. We are really embarking and welcoming and trying to embrace a new COVID life of meeting virtually, but keeping up with the programs that we have. The other thing we really enjoy doing with our films is making sure that they are educational opportunities. So in addition to watching the film, we enjoy being able to introduce to you the country, to give you some context for what you are about to see. So this evening, we are going to have Mary Dixon Amata join us, and she's going to take a moment to teach us a little bit about Nigeria. When she is finished, she's going to introduce Kelechi Adojo, part of our community, who's going to really share the Nigerian cultures that you're going to see in this film, especially Igbo language. When Kelechi is finished, we're going to have Mazinho come and introduce Alex. Alex is a Nigerian filmmaker. And he's going to join us via Zoom, and he's really going to give us some context for Nollywood. So if you're not familiar with Nollywood, this is another gigantic film industry. So you've heard of Hollywood, you've heard of Bollywood, and we do want to introduce you to Nollywood as well. When that is done, then we'll delve into the movie, and we will welcome you to return to be able to partake in a discussion about what you just saw as well. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce Mary. Mary is a true reflection of Nigeria's rich diversity. She was born in Nigeria in the Delta region, and her mom is from the Western region as well. Mary is incredibly gifted. She speaks English, French, Pidgin, Yoruba, and Hausa. So if you're looking for a polyglot to do amazing things. She's there for you. She also speaks conversational German. Oh my gosh, I need to speak up my game. I need to get better at this. Her linguistic talent earned her a foray into Nigeria's media space. She was the head of the French language service at Abuja office for the Voice of Nigeria. Some of you might have heard of this program. For example, there's Voice of America. So this is Nigeria's international radio station. And on her time, she was able to cover several human interest stories about diplomacy, agriculture, as well as media content. In addition, Mary has worked as a school teacher and a volunteer for civil society groups in Nigeria, such as the Society of Community Development, West African Women Association, Media and Gender Empowerment Initiative. So having studied French language for her bachelor's degree, she is currently pursuing a master's degree here at the University of Missouri in the Department of Romance Languages. So she is an Africa Hub board member, the Ditton Scholar member, and a member of AGPSA, the Graduate and Professional Student Association at our university. So without further ado, please welcome Mary to teach us a little bit more about Nigeria.
Hello, everyone. And so, yeah, I said earlier, I am Mary and I'm here to talk about Nigeria. I am from Nigeria. First and foremost, where is Nigeria? Nigeria is located in West Africa. And so we can see here the green spots in the west side of Africa. Here is where we have Nigeria. Nigeria operates a federal system of government and has 36 states and about 776 local governments. Diversity, Nigeria is a very diverse country, and being a diverse country, it is as a rich ethnic, it has a rich number of ethnic groups, and we have over 250 ethnic groups. These ethnic groups have their own distinct cultures and languages. However, we have three major languages and culture, which are the Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo languages. We have Hausa in the northern part of the country, and we have Yoruba in the west and Igbo in the east. Here we have a picture of, we see the Yoruba with their Yoruba attire, with their traditional attire. We have Hausa also, the traditional attire, as well as the Igbo people. Languages in Nigeria. I said earlier, we have over 250 ethnic groups and languages, and all these languages also have various dialects. But then we have English as an official language, and we have Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo also widely spoken. Like I said earlier, Hausa widely spoken in the northern part of the country, Yoruba spoken in the west, and Igbo in the east. Then there's the Nigerian Pidgin, which is what Nigerian Pidgin was initially a language for illiterate people, but so over time the language has grown and expanded and has been standardized, has a dictionary, and also we have broadcast stations who broadcast in Pidgin, and so Pidgin today is the first language to over 35 million people, and a large portion of the population speaks Pidgin. Pidgin is a language that brings everyone together. We have people from different cultures who speak different languages, but almost every Nigerian is able to communicate in Pidgin. Currency, what do we spend in Nigeria? No, we don't have the dollar, we have the naira. And we have this N sign with a cross over here is the naira sign, and we have 5 naira, 10 naira, 20 naira, 50, 100, 200, and 500 naira. Talking about some notable people from Nigeria, we have Fela Anikulapo Kuti, the giant music minstrel who invented the most popular genre of music in Africa today, the Afrobeat. We have Wole Soyinka, the Nobel Prize winner for literature. And we also have Chimamanda Adichie. Chimamanda today is a contemporary writer, and she writes and got her inspiration from Chinua Achebe, who I don't have on the slide, but Chinua Achebe is from the eastern part of Nigeria. Wale Soyinka, as I talked about him earlier, is from the western part of Nigeria, and I will be proud to say he's an in-law. Okay. Also, we have Genevieve Inaji. Genevieve is an actress, a very popular actress, and Genevieve is going to be in the movie. Well, she's the main actress in the movie we're going to be watching today, Lionheart. And also, it's also important to not say that Genevieve is from the eastern part of Nigeria. She's Igbo, and the movie is also also has its settings in this region of the country. And to date, we have someone here who's going to tell us about the Igbo culture, someone who's going to introduce, well, some form of, well, a little bit of the Igbo culture to us. And she's also coordinator of the Igbo Association here in Colombia. So then I'd like to introduce to you Kelechi Adejo. Who is Kelechi Adejo? Kelechi is a true reflection of the integration of Nigerian cultures. She speaks and writes Igbo language fluently and is an advocate for cultural integration. Both her parents are from Imo State, but she was born in Aba, in Abia State, the commercial hub of the eastern Nigeria. She attended the University of Calabar in southern Nigeria, and where she got an associate degree in public administration and a bachelor's degree in law. Kelechi met her husband, Chris Adejo, who is from Kogi State in north central Nigeria, while in college. Together, they have 3 kids, and they all live here in Colombia. Kelechi went to the Nigerian Law School, Abuja, and practiced law as a private attorney in Lokoja, both in northern Nigeria, in Lokoja, which is in northern Nigeria, before relocating to the United States a few years back. With a relocation, she made a switch in career and went to school for an associate degree in applied science, then proceeded to training to be certified as an occupational therapist assistant. She currently practices with the University of Missouri Healthcare, and so now I would like to welcome here Kelechi Adejo.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this privilege to come talk about the Igbo people and Igbo culture and share my knowledge with you all. The Igbo people are all over the world. And Igbo, like she had mentioned earlier, is one of the 3 main languages and tribes in Nigeria. The Igbo people are resilient, they are industrious, they are hardworking. The largest concentration of Igbos are, however, found in the eastern part of Nigeria. Of the 36 states of Nigeria, Igbo tribe exclusively occupies 5 states in the east. They are also found in neighboring states, and that would be Ebonyi, Anambra, Enugu, Imo, Abia. They also occupy some other states that they're neighbors to the left, right, and center, and that will be River State, some part of Delta, some part of Benue. You all find Igbo people who reside there and who also speak the language or a variation of Igbo language. Igbo people, usually, if you meet a typical Nigerian, most of the facts about the Igbos, you can really get off the net and learn more about them. But a typical Nigerian would tell you that Igbo people like money. I have been hearing this since I was a little girl. I always tease them back that, well, if we so like money, why is it that none of you ever submit your paycheck to me? I have so many non-Igbo friends, none of them ever have given me their paycheck. Yet they always tell me Igbo people like money. It's okay, it's a fact. But this alludes to the fact that Igbos are very industrious and Igbos are very hardworking. In Nigeria, for a fact, so also they say, wherever you go to and you don't see an Igbo person, it's probably not a place for you to be because of the resilience that the Igbo people exhibit wherever they are found. The civil war that was fought in Nigeria a couple of years back, some of you may know about it. It was a war that lasted 3.5 years. At the onset of that war, it was mainly between the southern and the northern part of Nigeria. When the war started, nobody, the Nigerians, did not believe it would even last maybe a few days, maximum a few weeks. But with almost nothing, with no support from outside or within, the Igbo people were very creative. They created weapons for themselves to use, and they found ways to work with almost nothing and sustained that war for 3.5 years. So that speaks to the resilience that they have. Here in the United States, in the past 3, 4, 5 years, every year there has been children from Nigerian descent, and particularly from the Igbo extraction, who have been offered admission into nearly all the Ivy League schools. It's there, you see a lot of them, and so wherever we go, we shine. So this is just putting a spotlight on the Igbo people and the things that we're able to do. Here in Colombia, though, we have a group of Igbos who come together, because another thing that we're known for is that wherever we find ourselves, we like to unite, we like to congregate. As it's said in Igbo, one lady number, which means your brother is also in a foreign land. And wherever we go, we try to identify ourselves, we try to integrate with the people, we try to unite with the people wherever we go. And I think that also alludes to the fact that they're able to integrate wherever they go to and wherever they are found. They're able to make home wherever they find, and be creatively make things work wherever they are found. Here in Colombia, we have a Mid-Mo Igbo community, and we meet every last Sunday of the month. In the course of the pandemic, we have been meeting mostly online, and I'll leave contact information with the AfriHub in case you're an Igbo person watching us as a student and you don't know that your brothers and sisters are here. I want to assure you that we're here and we're willing to help and work with you, and be one in spirit and be one together, showing for that love that Igbo people are known for, and that resilience that Igbo people are known for. The movie that we're about to watch is really beautiful because part of it is in English language and part of it is in Igbo language. But the good thing is that the Igbo part of it is subtitled. I believe you will enjoy it thoroughly, and it also speaks some more to that resilience that Igbo people exhibit wherever they may be found, wherever they are. No matter how difficult things are, they try to find a way, and they always push through to succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Felicia. That was a very great presentation you made about the Igbo people of Nigeria. And there's no doubt that today, yes, we're gathered to talk about a movie, and we cannot talk about Nollywood without mentioning the role that the Igbo race has played. As a matter of fact, the Igbos actually made Nollywood profitable. It became commercialized, and the potential is what we're seeing today, the $4 billion industry, thanks to the resilience of the Igbo people. My name is Mazino Dixon, and it's great to be here for this occasion. Today, before we screen the movie Lionheart, as you've heard, the movie centers around happenings within Eastern Nigeria, particularly the Igbo race. I'm not going to talk much about Nollywood. Someone else will do it. He will join us in a moment. He's in Nigeria as we speak, and I will introduce him. His name is Alex Onome Egoge. He's someone that I've known for many years, both as a brother, senior brother, a dear friend, and very charismatic gentleman. He's someone that has his hands in many, many genres of life. You talk of music, you talk of culture, you talk of tourism, anything, he has always excelled. But where he has made his greatest mark is in the movie industry. He has played in several roles, such as a popular Nigerian series, The Third Eye, which was very popular in the 80s. He's also been a scriptwriter, he's been a director and a producer. Some of the productions that he has been able to show what he's got. One of them is The Three Wise Men. It was produced by Opa Williams, and that film won the award for Best Comedy at the 2017 edition of the Africa Movie Academy Awards, AMA. That's just one of the productions that Alex has had his hand in. His credits are also found in other productions. One of the most prominent is a comedy, Sophia in London. He played a prominent role in making success out of that movie. Besides the movie industry and the drama, he has also played his hands in producing quality programming on Nigerian television. Some of them include The Charlie Boy Show and its syndicate Zoom Time. He's also produced Cadbury Breakfast Television, a popular weekend production aired in Lagos in the 80s and early 90s. Then there's also Fuji House of Commotion, Solitaire, Tempest. I can name so many. Alex has had his hand in all of this. Right now, he is a permanent member of the board of the Gotha Siemens Initiative for Music in Africa. Remember, I said he was into music. He was a backup singer to some of our great musicians, Michael Cree, Charlie Boy, Eviedna Ogoli. So he's both, you can say he's entertainment personified. He's fluent in English, Yoruba, and speaks very good French. Ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, let's join Alex Onome Egboge as he gives us a peep into Nollywood, which has turned, or will I say, told the other story of Nigeria. Alex, over to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you put on your video?
Hello, everyone.
Alex, can you put on your video so that we can see you? Hello, Alex, are you there? Okay, Alex is trying to, we want to see his, of course, definitely people want to see your face, Alex. People want to have a face to that name because I know so many productions over the years you have, your name has featured, and this will be an opportunity to unveil who is the person behind all those productions. Alex, are you there? Can you hear me? Can we see you?
Okay. My name is Alexis Onome Egboge, and I am a filmmaker. I like to introduce myself simply as that because I wear many hats. It will be a long introduction if I had to go through everything. I'm glad to be here. I am actually delighted. And I must warn you, I am not as old as Mazino has made me seem. Now we're talking Nollywood. Nollywood is an industry that was born out of passion because it didn't get sponsorship from anywhere. It didn't get support. That's not why it was born. It was born because Nigerian people, we come from a long line of storytelling people, a storytelling culture, which has always been here. So in Nigeria, it's not strange to see people talk about those days when we told stories under the tree, the large tree in the village center, and sometimes even in our houses in modern day. So it's something we've always had, telling stories. We are creative people, and not just creative people, we are resilient people. So some of these Nollywood stories, or most of them, are actually stories that are created to help us live through difficult times, difficult situations, encourage us to keep keeping on. Virtually every Nollywood story has a lesson behind it, an underlying taught to the audience, the viewers. It's the reason around Africa, Nollywood stories are the most popular. Nollywood stars are the biggest on the continent. That's a truth. Now, the story of the industry quite a long time. We would say about 1992, which started with a movie called Living in Bondage. I won't go into the details of Living in Bondage, but it was a story as one of the types we told at the time. Now we have evolved from living in bondage to what's happening today, which is what you would engage more with. Now I say more because recently we have begun to talk about something called the new Nollywood. Now, new Nollywood is not, in my understanding, different from what it used to be, but we are telling stories a new way. And it's a more international way. It's a way that the larger world can understand. Because in truth, I must tell you that because we have over 250 languages and cultures, Nigerians always find a way to communicate. And one of the earlier speakers, Mary, said, talked about Pidgin English. Now, Pidgin English was not just an illiterate form of expression. I'll tell you where it came from. Pidgin English came from Portuguese, the Portuguese that came to Nigeria a long time before independence. Why? It was an easy language, a broken down version of English they used to communicate with the people they met here. So you could use the same language to communicate with an Hausa man, an Igbo man, a Yoruba man, a Kanuri man, and a Shekiri man, rather than try to learn each person's language, which would have been difficult for them. Although one of two of the foreigners that did British, they colonized us. When they came here, it was said that they made it mandatory that the English workers learned to speak Hausa. That's a long story. We're not going there. Now let's go back to Nollywood. From living in bondage, we've come this far and we have evolved as an industry. We have movies now that are grossing over $1 million. 10 years ago, this was unheard of. As a matter of fact, we didn't dream this will happen. So Nollywood was not an industry born out of projections. We didn't think it will go here or go there. First of all, we had to entertain ourselves, keep ourselves keep our heads above water with issues that everybody goes through every day. I remember that at a certain time, and you might remember this, Nigerians were described as people on earth because we always find a way to entertain ourselves. Now, what is Nollywood? How can you identify Nollywood? Nollywood is not, it's a unique genre in itself, in the sense that it is filmmaking but amplified. Why do I say amplified? We are excited in our drama. So sometimes you might think that the actions are overdone. They might appear like this is overacting. I'll put it that way simply so we understand it better. But I'll tell you what, the Nigerian is a very expressive person. That's how we are naturally. So if it's not familiar to you in your culture, yes, that's because you are not Nigerian. Although many people around the world today are becoming Nigerian by association, just because they are watching Nollywood movies all the time. Even as far away from here as in Jamaica, we know that nowadays parents use Nollywood movies to teach their children manners, because in Nigeria, whether or not you like it, you have to obey your parents. We respect our parents. It's not draconian rule in any way. It's something we grew up understanding, that your father is older than you and so is your mother, even your aunties, even your sister who is 2 or 3 years older than you. You might even call her auntie. Now, auntie doesn't mean she's your aunt, but it's just a sign of respect that we have here for everybody older than us. Now, this culture carries over into our movies. So every Nigerian movie teaches something. Now, there's been this debate for a long time that some people will say, oh, Nollywood movies are all about voodoo and all of that. That's not true. Yes, some of the time that will be there, but these voodoo, quote unquote, voodoo movies were long ago. Nowadays, what's happening? We're doing large scale party movies. Why do I call them party movies? We're trying to show more glamour, less of the juju that is voodoo. So you have films like Wedding Party that grossed over $1 million at the box office, and so many others like that. What happens in Nigeria usually with filmmaking is that we have what I call a follow syndrome. Yes, in English, follow. So somebody does a particular genre of movie or a particular type of movie, and it succeeds. It is successful. It sells out. And then you find that in the next few weeks, next few months, a year or so, everybody else is trying to do a movie along those lines as well, because the thinking must be, if this one made money, then if I do something like that, it will make money. That's how it works. So you find out that if you have a movie like Wedding Party breaking the box office, you have a few other movies, maybe several, with party scenes like that. Now, so where do our stories come from? Like I've said earlier on, they come from us. Our stories are us. So if you look at the fact that even with the stories that seem to be about wicked people, they do not triumph in the end, we are saying simply, we do not support this. You should not be like this. So there are stories to correct ills in society, while at the same time telling the whole world what we have, especially the beauty of our culture, the beauty of our receptive nature as a people. Africans, Nigerians are excellent hosts. I'm sure that if you watch our movies, you realize that from the movies themselves. Sure. We show off that. We don't mind showing off that part of us. Now, if we go back to where it started as a direct to market industry. What do I mean? You got a camera, you shot the movie in your living room or around your area, not spending too much. You edited it on an editing system, and you went straight to the market in a place called Idumota at the time. Idumota was really popular for selling movies at the time. And you'd go there and you find that every week, sometimes about 60 movies had been released, 20 movies, 30 movies had been released. That was how we got to become Africa's biggest industry. So it's based really on output. We're only after India talking about output. So it's based on output. We release a lot of movies. Now, the average production time for a regular Nollywood movie was one thing that shocked the world. Yes, we could produce movies in 2 weeks. We could produce movies in 2 weeks. What that simply meant was if we had more time and more, and we are doing that. Now, for the new Nollywood movies that I spoke about earlier, the average production time, it says my internet is unstable. Can you hear me?
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Okay.
Repeat that statement.
Okay, I can see you now. So the average production time for the new Nollywood movies is about 4 weeks, sometimes 40 days, 50 days, 60 days, up to 80 days. So you can see that there's a shift in quality, a shift in the level of output that we're getting. Now, one other challenge that a lot of people have talked to me about with Nollywood is there are so many titles to choose from. How do I know what is great and what is not great? I'll tell you that it's like a bag of rice. There's so many grains you begin to wonder, yes, I understand, but here's what you might need to do. So that I say this because some of you there have not seen Nollywood movies and you're going to go and look them up online so that you have a better idea of what to do. Check for a movie for example, called Wedding Party. If you did that, around Wedding Party on YouTube, you'd find other movies like Wedding Party, for example, or in that range, quality-wise. Now, the movie we're looking at today, the movie we're watching today, we're previewing, Lionheart, is another great movie made by Genevieve Naji. Genevieve is an actress that seems to have well, she's Nigeria's most popular actress. I was trying to be diplomatic about it, but she's Nigeria's most popular actress, and she's made the list of being one of the most popular women in the world, especially from Africa. You know, she is an actor's actor. That's how I would refer to her. What do I mean by that? An actor that gives her all. So she might not be and shouting and all of that, but you watch her and you realize that this girl knows her onions. She knows what she's doing. This was her first movie as a director. You know, she's been in several as an actor, but this is her first movie as a director. And like Mary mentioned, set in Igbo land. The movie is when I first saw it, I'll tell you what I thought. Because I knew it was Genevieve's movie, I expected it was going to be some out of the world thing. But here's what she did. She told a simple story beautifully. So it's a movie that you don't get tired of watching. There are lots of Nollywood movies like this. If you happen on one that you don't really like, skip it, because there's so many more to look at. Now, like I said, there are quite a few quote-unquote negatives based on the fact that people don't know much about Nigeria or don't know enough about Nigeria or about the industry. And that's not strange. One of the most, would I say annoying? Yes. One of the most annoying images that we get of Africa from Western media is that image, I'm sure you're all familiar with it, of brown roofs, farming in the land and starving children. That is not Africa. That is not Africa. That is Africa in crisis, which is sometimes and some parts of Africa, not even most of Africa. Now, if we're talking Nollywood, you will ask what sort of support does the industry get from government? For a long time, the industry got no support from government, so it started on its own. It was started by traders largely, which is much like the American industry itself, Hollywood. You know, so it was started by traders who had some money, who could pay for equipment at the time to shoot a video in 2 weeks, sometimes 10 days. That happened too. Because like I said, it was a direct to market industry. What happened was you finished your movie, sent it to Idumota and to a place called Ebimpejo Lane. I think that's in the east. And there was another place called Upper Iweka. I think that's in Onitsha as well. You know, that was then. So the idea then was you come there as a distributor, you buy lots and lots of CDs. It wasn't even DVDs at first. And then you take the CDs around Nigeria to distribute wherever you've come from to buy. Now, over time, when the whole world changed from CDs to DVDs, we did the same. But here's where a problem became pertinent. The problem was that with DVDs, the pirates now got to understand that movie making in Nigeria is really profitable. And of course, pirates all over the world have a lot of money waiting somewhere to cash in on a gap in the market. So that's what they did. So with DVDs, it became a problem because who is a producer who doesn't have all the funds that you need is struggling to get several thousand DVDs out there. But meanwhile, there's a pirate who's got the funding to send out 500,000 DVDs maybe. That happened. So for a long time, we spent a lot of our creative time fighting piracy. We're still fighting piracy to today. It's still the biggest problem. If you ask any practitioner in Nollywood, what's the biggest problem? It's still piracy. Now, government has tried to intervene so many times. We have the Copyright Council, we have the police raiding shops that store pirated DVDs and all of that. But of course, you know, it's an uphill task. We hope we will get there. So one thing that did happen to counter this was
Alex.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know if you could just quickly round up so that we could.
Okay.
Yes, just summarize. Yeah.
Okay. So one thing that quickly happened was that we started to release these movies in bits. So I'm sure if you look for Nigerian movies, you'll find some movies that are part 1, second part, third part, fourth part, movie that should have been for 1.5 hours. That's happening. Anyway, I will leave you by saying this. We have come to a new Nollywood, which is what we are all selling right now. And it means that the movies have gotten better and bigger budgets. And now that we have cinemas once again in Nigeria working, we are all going back to cinemas to watch these movies. I said something today to someone and I'll say to you that we go to the cinemas, we see an American movie, we see a Nigerian movie up on the billing. And we all go to watch the Nigerian movie because we know it. It's our story. It's familiar. It's how we live. It's how we've grown. It's what we want to tell. I'll stop there for now. If there's any questions, I'll answer later. And if you need to get to me to answer more than I've spoken about, I'm available. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alex. That was a very elaborate, short, straight to the point analysis of Nigeria's movie industry, Nollywood. We will soon get to screen the movie, but do remember that while the movie will be going on, you will have questions and answers. You've heard Alex say so much about Nigeria's film industry. So while you watch the movie, you can post your questions on Zoom, the chat box. You can put your questions on the Q&A spot. Then, of course, also on Facebook and Twitter, drop your questions there, and we'll be able to address them. Alex is on ground. He will be answering them as the movie goes on. Now, straight to the movie. Any moment from now, we will start the movie Lionheart, Nigeria's first Netflix production. And it's really caught the world by storm, I must say. Now, what is this film about? Well, it goes like this. Running a company can be challenging, especially if you are a female in a male-dominated industry looking to prove your worth. Now, the star character in this film, her name is Adaeze. That's the first daughter of a father in Igbo land. Anyone called Ada is the first female child, or the firstborn. Ada, first girl. Adaeze is her name. Steps up to the challenge when her father, Chief Ernest Obiagu, is forced to take a step back due to health issues. Ironically, he appoints his crude and eccentric brother, Godswill, instead to run the company with his young daughter. Complications arise when they discover that the family business is in dire financial straits, and both Adaeze and Godswill try to save the company in their own way, to crazy and often hilarious results. It is a mishmash of comedy and true life set in eastern Nigeria, Igbo land, which is considered the China or Japan of Nigeria, in terms of industry, in terms of commerce. So this movie, Lionheart, gives you a clear view of what goes on a daily basis or what happens in Igbo land. So without much ado, we're going to start the movie Lionheart. Enjoy. Okay, you just watched the screening of the movie Lionheart, and of course, like I told you earlier, that movie was the first produced Nigerian movie for Netflix. And since then, with the production of Lionheart, other Nigerian movies that have been produced by other companies have been streaming on that platform. And one of them is Living in Bondage Part 2. Remember, we told you that the very first Nigerian movie was Living in Bondage, that was produced in 1992. Now, the sequel to that was produced last year, 2019. And of course, that movie did very well at the African Movie Awards. Well, it's now time for a Q&A. I know you will have some questions to ask. I can see some of them here. There's one from, okay. Okay, I don't know, maybe want to check the social media handle for questions. So it looks like there was a complaint about the audio, I guess maybe for the movie, but not to worry. If you have other questions to ask, you can go to our Facebook. Of course, that's Mizu Africa Hub. You can also go to our Twitter handle. You can drop your questions there about Nollywood, about Nigeria, and any other thing you want to talk about. Just watch the movie Lionheart, produced by a Nigerian actress, director, Genevieve Naji. And I can tell you that that film was nominated for the Oscars, but along the line, it was dropped for technical reasons. But that's the first Nigerian film that was nominated in the language category of the Oscars. That's the Academy Awards. And definitely we should see much more productions come on stream. As you can see from that movie, Lionheart showed what it is to live in Igbo land, the eastern heart of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I don't know. Okay, Nadesh will take it from here, but please keep sending those questions on the Q&A section of our Zoom and also on our Facebook and our Twitter, and definitely we'll get across to you. Nadesh.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's been a whole trial and error. We appreciate your presence, trying to figure out how to program in this new COVID age. I just want to take a quick moment once again and thank our generous sponsors for helping us put on this program. The Division of Inclusion, Diversity, and Equity, African Graduate Professional Student Association, and CAFNER International Programs. I also just want to set a quick reminder to join us for some of our programmings that are coming up. We're going to host Focus on Africa Wednesday, October 7th, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. in the same place, the Newman Center, in their multipurpose room. We're excited to host Professor Admire Mseba. He is a new professor in the history department at the University of Missouri. The title of his presentation is International Cooperation and Environmental Control in the 20th Century, Southern Africa, circa 1902, 1970 as well. So we're really looking forward. And as we mentioned, we're going to continue to make sure that the programs we provide are accessible virtually. At this time, the University of Missouri is still capping the number of attendants. And out of an abundance of caution, we are doing the same thing as well. All right, thanks again for joining us tonight. We appreciate having you. We appreciate having Mazinho, Alexis, Mary, and as well as the opportunity to learn from Kelechi about what the Igbo Association is doing. All right, have a wonderful night.